Everybody, so we're going to continue to talk about festivals, and there are loads of them happening here in South Africa and also beyond our borders. Now, we're going to show you a final artist lineup, and that's going to be happening in just a short while for this year's the Jameson Victoria Falls Carnival, which returns to the majestic Vic Falls region for another unforgettable New Year's music and adventure extravaganza. Over the 3 days, revelers will watch 20 acts, including artists from Southern Africa, also originally from Brazil. Napalma will take to the stage with their street carnival-inspired blend of Brazilian and African beats and diverse electronic sounds to create that happy holiday feeling. Tafadzwa hitmaker, Sangura musician Alex Macheso will bring his collective orchestra to the falls. Well, joining us now to talk a little bit more about this, we've got Takamba Dunwa, accompanied by a promoter for the event, Wayne Boardman. Good to have both of you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you for having us.
So we promised to have a little bit of a final lineup. I said, well, what you've just seen is the final lineup. I'm dying to see the final lineup. Who is it? Who's going to be on the official lineup for this year?
So we've got it's over 3 days, from the 29th to the 31st. And on the 30th, we have a variety of artists. We've got Half and Half going to be performing there, Dilo Exclusive, Ryan Synth is going to be there, Little Bo, and a whole lot of other DJs performing at the train party. So what makes the train party really significant and beautiful is that it's African themed. Bring your shwe, bring your proud doek, wear it, because it's not only South African, it's also Zimbabwean, it is also Nigerian. It is also Rwandan. So everyone coming together in Zimbabwe at the Vic Falls to celebrate Africa together.
It's a fantastic thing. I mean, I know we've been speaking about it for years. I still have not actually been to it yet.
You have to go.
I speak about it every year and send all of you off on your merry way. But how long has it been going for now?
So I think probably we're in our fifth or sixth year now. So it started, let's say 5-6 years ago, and then we sort of jumped on board 3-4 years ago, and now own it in its entirety.
That's fantastic.
So we're looking at this year would be probably the sixth edition of the Vic Falls Carnival.
When you say entirely own it, so it's now the title sponsor is Jameson, and it's the Vic Falls Carnival.
Yeah, so it's Jameson Vic Falls Carnival. Obviously they've been on board, I think, from the word go, and amazing sponsor. They're coming to the party sort of big time this year with a lot of activations and that.
Is it a South African organised event?
It is, but very key to the success of the festival is the partners on the ground that we have in Victoria Falls. So without those guys, we work very closely with a number of companies and organisers up there. So
I would imagine so, because I mean you've got such a diverse lineup, and you're trying to attract people from the entire region, which is wonderful. How many people do you attract? I mean, how many people actually come to this festival? If you have to look at last year's numbers.
We probably are sitting on about 5,000. I think the most we've had was 2 years ago, 6,500, around 6,500. We're hoping for the same this year. I think in terms of the lineup that we've got, it's probably, I would say, the best lineup that we've had since the inception of the carnival.
Excellent. Now, you spoke about a train party. What's that all about?
Right. So let me jump in on the train party. So the train party it's a truly African experience. The whole sort of history of Vic Falls town. You arrive at the station, which is the original old Victoria Falls station, the backdrop of which is the Vic Falls Hotel, probably the oldest hotel in the region, beautiful, majestic hotel. Everyone arrives, it's a party, there's a train, you jump on the train, we've got DJs on the train, bars, the whole lot, and the train takes you, it's probably about a 30 or 40 minute journey into the bush to a site called Jafuta, and as it stops, the sun's going down, everyone gets off the train, and there's DJs, parties, bars, sound, lights, and that party goes till about midnight. So at the end of the party, you jump back on the train, and the festival just carries on. So we've actually got three train trips going out to the bush site.
Fantastic.
And we should have about 2,000 people out there.
No, but what are we talking about for a ticket to be on board that train and to enjoy the whole festival?
So the 1 day pass, which is for the New Year's party, starts at $60.
Yeah.
And then for the 3 day pass, which is the entire weekend, is $90.
But that's just for the train. Is that correct?
No, so the 3 day pass includes the train.
Yeah.
We've got a river party on the 29th, so that happens on the banks of the Zambezi River. Then you've got the train party, and then we've got the New Year's festival.
Fantastic. I mean, it just sounds like a brilliant festival.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Tickets still available?
Tickets are still available.
Okay.
So you can go onto our website, www.vicfallscarnival.com, and you can find all the information there. The full lineup will be there as well. There are tickets on sale starting at $60 and going up to $90 for the weekend pass. And we highly encourage you to go to all 3 days, because you're creating an experience. You're there with your friends, you're there with your family, and you want to enjoy the new year together and build up to that 31st experience.
Oh, I can only imagine. It must be a fantastic event. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you break those numbers and you really do get all of the revelers coming in and enjoying this festival. Takamba Donwa is the organizer for this event, and the promoter, Wayne Boardman, talking to us about this year's Jamison Vic Falls Carnival. Go visit the website. I think we've been showing it to you. It's called thevicfallscarnival.com, www.vicfallscarnival.com. Get the lineup, and you can check ticket details there as well. Now, remember we did this yesterday. We showed you part 1 of the tourism special in Franschhoek. Well, it's time for part 2. And this time, our Morning Live producer, Kirat Lalla, attended a food and wine pairing, something essential in making cuisine a grand affair. Enjoy.
The Western Cape is a province dependent on tourism and the wine industry. About 60% of all tourists request a wine offering as part of their experience when visiting the region. Stellenbosch is the most noted and visited wine area in South Africa. Since we were invited by Franschhoek to showcase all they have to offer, the chairman of Franschhoek Tourism has this to say about the area's wines.
In wine, I'm a great believer that we make different styles of wine. So the style of wine in Franschhoek is different than the one in Stellenbosch. So if you want a really great Cabernet Sauvignon, yes, the grapes must come from Stellenbosch. But in Franschhoek, we can make really wonderful Chardonnay, like the one that I have here in my glass. I think some of the top Chardonnays is coming from this region.
If you are one of those people who loves a good reality cooking show, I'll have you know that the best restaurants in the world pair their food with wine. It's something those Michelin star restaurants must do to get those coveted stars. In Franschhoek, I attended a food and wine pairing.
Today we're focusing a little bit more on food and wine, presenting that in our beautiful PNF restaurant today. So we are focusing on flavor intensity, weight of wine to weight of food, and also flavor sensations. Throughout, as we go, you'll see we have different glasses on the table. The glasses are different wines that will be represented with the food and wine. We're starting with a glass of MCC, of course, best way to start a Friday. MCC, Method Cup Classique, basically the method of making a champagne. It is just from South Africa, made and enjoyed. So that is also a great palate cleanser in between as we go along. The bubbles kind of tend to clean the palate within every bite. So we are going to start with the first wine, which is the Lamotte Sauvignon Blanc. Lamotte Sauvignon Blanc is the wine we produce the most of all our wines on the cellar. Sauvignon Blanc, popular favorite amongst wine drinkers all over the world, and the more they drink, the more we make. Sauvignon Blanc is drank a lot of, so it's very classic. It's fruity, round, very crisp and fresh. So swirling your wine helps the aromas to escape to the top of the glass. So as you swirl it, those aromas kind of go in a circular motion to the top, and then you can smell it and get that flavors coming through quite beautifully. You get more of it actually if you do it. So the reason we put these two together is blancmange, very much like a style of panna cotta. It's just in a savory way. Lemon and thyme, classic flavors that comes through in a Sauvignon Blanc. The apple is for that crispness you find in the wine, and also the grenadilla for the acidity. Blancmange is almost for me like the Semillon in the wine, smoothing it out and neutralizing a little bit. Crisp for texture, and goat cheese, natural acidity to also pull through with the wine. So you can have a bite of that, a sip of the Sauvignon Blanc, But again, just see how the flavors work together. See if you like that combination. So we have the Millennium. Now the Millennium is the lightest red wine from our collection. It's a Bordeaux style blend. A very light Bordeaux blend. It's consistent of mainly Merlot, which is your softer, smoother, more elegant style. We add a little bit of Cabernet Franc for a more green, earthy, natural feel, but also Petit Verdot and Malbec for color and spice. So what we have paired with that is a duck terrine with a spinach cream and a black cherry and master stock jelly. Now the reason duck is chosen is duck as the wine is, it's red wine, but it's not too heavy, it's a light red, full of flavor. So duck is kind of one of those things as well. Spicy element in the terrine, and the spinach cream brings out a nice Cabernet Franc flavor in the wine as well. The green earthiness comes through better. The viscosity in that has to do with the sugar levels and the alcohol levels. The higher the sugar, usually the thicker the tears and the slower it runs down. The higher the alcohol, the thinner the tears and the thinner legs you'll have on the wine. So it's something that a lot of people ask, and it's great to know, but it is usually either or. The higher the sugar level, usually lower alcohol, higher alcohol, lower sugar. So that gives you an indication on that. Doesn't have to do too much with the end product of the taste, but it is great to know the complexity of how the wine is put together.
So now you are on your way to being one of those master chefs by knowing how to pair your wine with your food. For Morning Live, I'm Kirat Lalla.